for your Isaac ne manager the how the so no confa free society by but no Fred Krana on fa now man very difficult said the bear obeti the manager no because when he said for manager no call no na dwene betimi asesa but yaw mama fa kokobo kakra ma Hansi Flick na me lower expectation of Barcelona fans ewo enanopai last year Barca fans enjoy a lot La Liga no Champions League no across the entirety of the season everything Barca did was super especially na below expectations so men can say they not fans expect no yaw fan omoye broso team ne ye broso only to be stopped by Inter Milan or Champions League no afino me hunu for a long time modern day history Barca be lose player bi onye offensive minded or a midfielder na ebetimi ewura club no se de Inigo Martinez de na ye no usually Barca be lose players be beko but ya na ya attacker or a midfielder a club no ya pa ne fans ya say player we all it has always been attackers or midfielders defender there naturally free Barca ya na nye painful sir but Inigo de I hate him man for hard pa aye Barca fans here they lost their best defender.
Yeah.
And apart from him being the best defender of the side, you know, he embodies the coach on the field. Okay, someone Jones, Sasa Jones, I took if you take a fat house of team. I said, Yakupon Shano man, some of the top players or Maimu, but one player not representing on the field, Kasepa and Ayako for general. And some coach, they cannot draw now dressing players in the world to coach. Yes, sir, coach.
The
referee, you need one player to remind all of them and put the back on the amount. Or coach you keep the ball, hold it, pressure no so. Shochi Oba. Or yes, Sani man the mount. Coach is only way they top. Inigo Martinez, the Barca highliner. On a remind the structure in a young queen, Yemrechi. Now, my cousin, me sure that I say every system you see today. Our shadows of yesteryears in football. Modern day coach be anyone more the ideology biaba. We have lazy coaches. We try to restructure the Titifona, you know. Yeah, of course. Now, every system ahunene yaw obi aboatwam. Every skills ahunene obi as skills in atwam. But remodification and changing nature of generations. It will be all between a card and say, as you go, say, Ghana player, be a papa, be any chroma. On the deep, and say for nothing. But our casa from players, I don't know who. Anybody or Bob any. 2006.
Yes.
Ghana, Brazil. Only say offside trap, no. Your key is already unlocking. Offside trap. Oh, coach, what can you say? Charlie, or the high line or whatever be the case. There's an offside trap. Someone said to a dressing room near the yeah. Opa Shadrack can start a video no. Now make sure how a Brazil activate your offside trap. No, when you blast out players in be at your phone so here. Kaone o near TF be din common and pay. The things they discussed. Brazil for no lock smooth. They brought 2 number 9s. Jade bi o haka krebi. Shadrack afin was starting. Now 2 number 9s for na Brazil the buy no. Shadrack hold it here. Number 9 for me the back Adriano. When you wide number 9, but I can wide number 9 for 7 show. No more Bamiyon, no more Henry. No more Sadiq Adams Mudi, no more Boku Ajmai. We are number 9 for Baonamon Chain, a bit and say Kozito or Bo Abetamwa, not the Kwampoku to Central. It's for Kwampoku near Betamwa 2 trim. Abetamwa and one Adriano. Or none of the other or your left back and no about 2006 one left back against Brazil. Sapi. It's your no Sapi ho. Not or no Ronaldo Noir, who so number 9 centrally. Were holding the position around the 2 central defenders. Saturday, John Mensah. And I think Kufo. It will be on community. Adriano no by offside or back full back and a co so left back and Ghana left back so. Watching a call. Now Ronaldo not central defenders and the Mamba Park in Vinci. Bobo too much highlight chia. Quickly no Macako for Bono Makobashi.
Similar to Vallecano Barca game on mobile because video no come mistake no san come the man MCR phone.
Shadrack video no.
Right Vallecano for no striker and the three kwabo no. Ono shada typical of or ya west wire off. So Barca line be o man so wire off until January 3. But no more be man ko ba bia tsa Adriano de na wo ka no.
Yeah.
So se born ko Adriano one true born ko ono de America ko fa. ne striker no afi onye
na
off game
activate no na activate
yes one lock
yes
omo ha line no
yes
yeah
yes
enye ne o
hwɛ enye na
so we 2006
yes the Brazil for the year you know you page yensa because the other no ho no adreno na ye but no na ball na okofa he is not the intended recipient of the ball so Shadrack mo play owia on fa the wo ka no Vicano for the no tonchen they enjoy the two so when say Ronaldo twentwen na ase because now Adriano are offside you know onkofa na okofa
even kakra hold you pass na kakra
now 3 goals to now were shadows of the same pattern wa now Adriano was wrong when I offside ya but here for kakra
yeah on
one Adriano one dey on sape and one atwe sape aba no and then who say blaster the defender we no person come I was so kind of no go inside now if you know a different battle boy trap na show so Shadrack go play now then analyze who picks up the ball oh no Adriano no cock off a ball we a high line also high line we look at baby blaster last line of defense in the war
center circle wow
and you need something one move no or they are deactivated the more two intelligent movers Sala we sebe fa cheme na no pay yemfa yinye sade no ohun se obi nhye number 10 hwan ya side defense no yemfa say obi omunto you need somebody to create that offside no so Shadrack can emfa we into one fa we into then enjoy the two
Vicano ne Barca there
yes it enjoy the two so yeah na traps na wo bom no yaw yeah na wo chiri na say let me Yamal suru ya obey now watch this Vicano de ni we na wo hwehwe no
why are there pa
intentional offside in here where the me am to me say dem
but on free mo so
but he will not be the recipient of the ball to the hwade o hwe blaster lineup defensive structure and baby no mugina na hwe Barca so defense baby no mugina
Barca crowd the high line
we are higher line
and they needed this. But the only difference is all the Vicano attackers and no Brazil attackers and no one. Say quality differences no are wide. And this is a big warning to Hasifle because in the final third, was also need a proven finisher as part of Lamine Rafinha mo. Wakako rely so much on Ferran Torres. Only a proven winner in terms of number 9. It is a new defense in the hold you panwa. Yow. When you home said the last year call, now watch the two sequences. Brazil didn't know what's no, and a Vicano ne Barca and a was the high line, the mid press in the final third. Only some differences in the new differences. Vicano attackers need to finish the few chances in the bano.
So we know ya strike or hard or be punish or
Saki Barca
come or punish or
watch the moves. Oh no.
Omo ye me kind no less than 2 or 3.
They had about 5 years. The only thing they were waiting for, I am the ball waiting at net. Unlike Kaka, Adriano, Ronaldo, zero Bertomo quality no wasro.
Run to me.
Game where you point Ghana my Saturday population in 38 million. Saturday 20 million or so. Obia Bob Brazil for the refi for the dia. Your bromunia, I don't know what to say, and I'm winning some more from my ear, come my ever the day, and I say, watch something here again. Oh, but you are the one to way. It has always been the case. It has always been the case. You need to set a trap. Somebody has to sit somewhere, deactivate your trap, no. And yo, as me making, to be very honest, say as if like you're very careful. No, some no discuss ego. No one fix the cracks in the defense, no. La Liga be very difficult.
Okay. Whoa, Mate, Steve, Bray.
Yeah, we a story be about Lamine Yamal and the celebration. I think the crown and cause some controversy. A lot of people were almost side to nearby near say or no idea hinche channel. Lamine Yamal and some kind of a especially from last season. Yoma or yeah, or pulling the pants or yeah, and also responded. But I want to refer him to Adebia Simbia Mosala Ekache real in Gomorrah after our share against Newcastle. So Shadrack was a video now or can Simbi a young guy. But I think say he has everything, the skill set, Lamine Yamal,
yes,
our quality. but guidance yade ehunhia pa until we kaya at Angel crucial be emphasize on this, you can't do this at the end on doubt is unimie but there are certain details bia I also will pay attention to.
Yeah.
Until you buy every morning or be check it, oh yeah mistake now, be true or be move. Lami Yamal in here sadian. He doesn't need to respond to the Ubika about it in oil. But the focus should be on the football thing. But also this current Barcelona team, any Messi Modiana, one share you be who players or more potential, but being the great at dominating world football consistently in terms of the crown, they will not get it that way because of some attitude. Now the coach is complaining of egos. To be very honest with you, or team no play be anywhere unmerited attack.
Say Barcelona squad way.
Onya ego.
Also be ego.
Yes.
So I say
no. For what Barcelona are achieving, it taking world football by storm. For 4 or 5 years, no one dictating how football should be played. Any players about hono, none of the players are always say, yeah, the Lewandowski be seen for the greatness and what he has been able to achieve over the course of time. But Omo say any day. Many shows will be qualify for the tag ego. No be anyhow. Tisala say
be a fuata by said
no be enru. I don't know my La Liga no maji. I no my. How many bibia?
Okay, uko national so as Euros.
And I make us Lewandowski ni sin chen ya ono ne de no de free baby na abehye o team no mo. Why very successful. Okay. Oh the ono de ni siwa or a serial winner, he's seen it all in football or the twilight of his career. Bibi an shede here no bebre sa. But say boys we nya ego dia a problem. So Salah say stay away from the social media. Ebi mo career no e pikin tem. Now Barcelona na ankasa as a club na a record of niema Asale eken. Ebi anenye mainly because of social media. You see in 2007 there were 3 players at near Bo Mudin we as a pa world football. Sadiq Adams, Boan Kekich, and Tony Cruz. Okwechira na the Richie Sukuta Pasumu Diabekika, but these were the 3 names are nearby in the world game. But Boan Kekich story na saying, there was another winger from Mexico. Is it Giovanni
Dos Santos?
Yes. Ni pace, any senior, Okita ball not drive it through defense. Lami Yamal nyebi. Until he was the closest to Messi in terms of sending Obono Bono. Not even Lami Yamal. The story need to say. So Lami Yamal ni Yamal no yena funo omo be chire ni nchi baby you free. That was why I wasn't too pleased with Senior Andre Onana starting a career at Manchester United. He was ranting at Harry Maguire. And I said on that platform, say that was the greatest mistake he'll be to me on a career.
Pre-season.
Yes, because he's coming in to replace David De Gea. Or my man a befitting send-off. Despite a Niema or Achivi at Manchester United. For seasons he was the best player. And now up contract extension. United for an farmer. And waba an English player almost 80 million pounds in a farm. At that time, now Harry Maguire and so any issues. Almost say errors be or no more person almost shipping out. And Maguire made a mistake in the game. And this guy got the ball, he was screaming at him. And Mireni drew. Nasa the air power hono. I didn't see a player be or how my friend a monkey. Monkey na taba when the players are opposition player and now when you are not performing for club, no. But when you are scoring, they don't recognize you as a monkey. So I was saying, it's a club no, because I am Manchester United, you know. Open the loudest in terms of legends are Manchester United. So the biggest mistake out here and it was a trap and no create Onana free Inter ba yenim so on be the savior. So Onana ba na ne go dana order na ankoye Alisson Becker mu de ni bi. They will refer him to Baby Ofriba. in the state of Onana is saying a disaster. So the Lami Yamal, you know, he deserves a crown. Sending our starting or twice so sad, greatness awaits him. But if he decides to respond to whatever, or pursue ye be archers and your cano, you know opposite. Oh, sooner me yen and jump on the end, as I know about body. Dear Salah, they are in Gomorrah. I think you should find a clip. Won't tear the organ, and also what the same age bracket, where you're 17 or also 18. I say first, no, Salah can about go no share. So take a toucher, conversing why are you based on experience or they can say. Or say he has everything to be a good footballer. But what lies ahead of him? Hey, how no I handle no. But on no Salah there. And Penifo Bebre will Liverpool team now. Man the right guidance as to how about the career and Beko Yaman. Name me besides Barcelona. Why the player be or aside Lewandowski, Obenya time, they are my young boys here or my buy wine. But Messi, when he came to he rose to fame, you know, he had Ronaldinho, he had Eto'o, he had arguably the finest of mentors with him. But Barcelona,
I'm a Barca fan. But it seems they are failing to manage the boy. Talent alone is not enough to get to the very top, says Chillin P. And Christopher Friewusu says, I second with Steve. None of the Barca squad has achieved anything aside La Liga. And to Yamal, I have never seen a king crowned himself like what he is doing. He's two roots, I say. Warner T-Law Kobe, I say, you people talk too much. What is the difference between Lamine Yamal's celebration and Mbappe's own? Every day Yamal, can a boy live his life in peace? I don't know what to buy. And I was say, bro, I'm a Barca fan, but don't compare Yamal to Mbappe, please. Yamal is too young and he needs to be patient on some things. And no, and so yeah, Kevin Boy, dear, no, so at the buy.
Okay. Now, baby, I'll message be about now, starting to be on now.
I see we talk too much.
Let's say be on the messages now. I say, Mr. Carl James say, there be a Mr. Carl James. Maybe I T-Law and me T-Law, also ya on la me yama. T-Law say, you people talk too much.
No, I don't know. Now, Chairman. Kiaba told you, man.
Too much.
We need to talk too much.
Too much.
You guys are crowning and no crown weeks ago.
Not crown.
Son of any sin.
Now, really, says I just saw the channel show. No, maybe I'm in fantasy. May have argued with different people. Why does I say, I mean, you fantasy there? On one, maybe later, I say, but so cast wash and hot chair, maybe who channel wash on. We can interpret it and attack the young man, but so cast one was watching, won't show it is. It's a simple, picture below where pictures that you can bring
based on how you see it. So you are imagining
players they can share any message to the world, but I don't know what meaning. Everybody is talking about crown. Let's treat it as crown. But maybe I don't think Lamine wait. No. Maybe who so be crown and who crown each year. Now your culture it can be anything. I will be attacking or send washing her crown. No, maybe who is you everybody can opine. But maybe who is leave the little boy.
The celebration na more issue of one answer the
any issue with celebration.
They talking too much now.
I said talk about you too much. Yes, speaking too.
Social media and
the
talking too much different. I meant to say.
But Salah crack and be what Salah say. There are certain players who peak early.
Yeah.
And there are certain players who peak very late.
Yeah.
Until Lamaya, you're born in Ochnabos and no peak around 24 years.
Simple.
Anthony Marshall or Hefa. Over Manchester United, don't even name Crawford run a trouble, Anthony Marshall. I mean, these boys, you don't know what China be alive for no ever stop or no. So it is so sorry, sir. We've been here and been saying to Ronaldo, Messi say, well, you're and we say, and Ronaldinho, we say, then this guy comes up.
Now, Messi so started say, when Jaida or twice.
See.
Newton has on Huns.
No, they be banned.
No, me no. Me who no.
And as some as the
Chile and the chess will be
That is the story of Spain. I have
and no thing I say has Lamine. Yes, Lamine I can't your henny.
We near there.
Mebo.
Now you're there.
So they can't say.
One who crown.
Oh.
Oh, so be in say.
Do what Jata.
I know you will be a dream, but so because a crown I made Jack with the it's not me.
Who is saying?
The dear just a crown. So who will crown?
No.
So your crown, yeah.
My contest is not on.
Who in the park?
What they count?
The criminal fino. Lamine criminal fino. There be Oyensa 304 bino. May I'll tell you. Very 3 weeks here Obi come and Mete said Nansan 304 representing the crew. I'll be very honest with you. Nansan a man for who's a message and Sana really said Yankopon and then so any says Jesus me osro.
Or J in the free throw.
Sana man for canon or call even MLS canon. Aha, audio Bokako.
Okay.
One so listen.
So they wouldn't say
no. That's not my issue. My issue is that you see. He's one player, and the story of the parents, he's one player personally. I would want us to enjoy him for a very long time.
Yeah.
And Lamine Yamal started with Wakofama, maybe a when you channel on O Beach.
And they say on one private life.
And also call on Nema. So there's been a series of whereby in, whereby there. But Salana advice now, or they man Rio Ngomoha. I feel say he can also share in the same advice and say, player need be a career band epic in them. But the Ama Salah say no. The Ama Ronaldo ni Messi who they are today no. A consistency.
Everybody
and to be very consistent, you need to stay focused on certain things. So he's saying you don't need the validation of the social media. You need to focus on a Jumana Oyeno. That is the advice of them a young boy. And I'm saying that be possibly the Puyols and those names around Lamine Yamal now. You have the best of environment. Giovanni
Dos Santos Puyol was there, Boyan Kekic Puyol was there, Isaac Kwanka Puyol was there, Christian Teo Puyol was there. Now I remember who 6 in the futu.
No, they were not in the same.
As a Kwanka Christian Teo,
they were not in the same.
Giovanni Dos Santos, no. When you know Puyol,
they were not in the same situation.
What's what to say? Teo.
Now some money
Giovanni Dos Santos.
At that time, those guys.
Giovanni Dos Santos.
They were not the They were not the main guys.
Giovanni Dos Santos.
No, I'm talking of skill set.
I'm saying now
no. Oh yeah, you misconstrued Asare Boadu. They've been players here. Or show glimpses. No, glimpses of brilliance. No, more skill sets. But for certain decisions, I enjoy almost. I mentioned 3 players in 2007. I enjoy. This is a fine gentleman. Well, sure, say he will have the world under his feet. But every profession be a woman, you will need to put yourself in a certain space to be able to attain the woman. That is why I reference the Anadon Samache. Say he doesn't doubt what you have, but there are certain things that it needs polishing. That is what I'm speaking to. It's not about whatever happens in private life, but there are certain things in the game. And no been a Salah share with Rio Ngomoha. The management of the boy, is as essential as the talent or process. You cannot take away the management away from. So I say, and the greatest player you always speak to, Ronaldo ni Messi. Ronaldo achieves certain lifestyle why you would drew her. So I say, so it's not about to attack the gentleman. I want you more feels expressing. But it's an advice that he can take a piece out of it. He can decide not to. That is the life.
Michael Aduku City was say, Michael Aduku say, Lamine Yamal himself has shown it that is a crown on